What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily, June 2nd, 2023. Really happy about how game one went last night. I'm not going to lie, Aaron. It was nice to see the Nuggets just take care of business. It would have been nice if they didn't blow the 24-point lead, since I had a little extra on the Nuggets trying to win by a bunch. But still, I mean, when you watch that first half, Nuggets clearly the better team, shoot 60%, a lot of wide open looks, but Miami missed a lot of wide open looks too. The 3-point thing has been a big thing with Miami the entire playoffs, right? If they shoot from three, they end up playing well. They didn't shoot well early in that game. They hit some late to cut it to 11, but never really in doubt. What'd you think of game one?
Yeah, it wasn't really in doubt. Like you said, they kind of did what we thought they would do early on in the game for sure, which is just jump out ahead of them. We thought they would have a little bit better, I don't know what the word is, just a little bit more energy is the right word than the Heat did, and they certainly did. So it was kind of formful, like we thought. And listen, gosh, when they were up 20, you were in real good shape to cash those alternate lines. And the second half, well, really not even the second half, the fourth quarter, I think the Nuggets just kind of faded a little bit, and it happens. But really good start for them. The Heat better come back in game two and really play well, or this kind of looks like it might be a short series.
Yeah, it was a fun night from just an in-game betting perspective, because I bet the Nuggets third quarter and the Heat in the second half, which was an interesting weave there. But it felt like the Nuggets were going to come out and play well. Jokic plays a lot of the third quarter, usually not all the fourth. And you kind of saw that where they come out, they play well in the third quarter, got up to, I think it was 21 after three. And then it fell apart a little bit in the fourth, like you said, but it didn't feel like that was generally the full effort from the Nuggets. So I don't want to take too much out of that fourth quarter.
No, I wouldn't take hardly anything out of it. They were on cruise control. They knew that game was over, and it's rest up, get ready for the next one, and that's what they did. I mean, and that's the thing, when you play the alternate lines like that, you do get in situations like what happened where they almost played too well for you. Yep. If you go into the fourth quarter and you're up like 13-12, it's like, okay, up 12, 13 points, I should say. It's like, all right, yeah, we still need to keep playing. But when you're up by that margin, they let off the gas, no doubt.
We've seen the series price move to Nuggets minus 700 now. That's probably unbettable, too big of a minus, although I would say that they are probably going to win the series. Nuggets in 5 now, plus 170. Nuggets sweep, plus 350. Any interest in either of those?
I would take the 5. I do think Miami is going to come out here and win a game. I don't think they're going to get swept, especially when they go home. I'm sure they're going to get this to at least a game 5. I would go Nuggets in 5.
Yeah, the minus 1.5 now minus 275. We talked about that quite a bit. Opened at minus 135, and the minus 2.5 now minus 135 for the Nuggets as well. The Nuggets obviously taking just a ton of money. Game 2, not for a couple days here. Going to be interesting to see what adjustments you see from the Heat, because the zone did not work at all. Jokic absolutely ate from an assist perspective. He had, I think, 10 in the first half. And Aaron Gordon, and Rob mentions it here, they just kind of let him be open for the whole first half, and he got a ton of easy looks toward the basket. He was a big difference maker there. It's just going to be tough for the Heat to deal with the depth the Nuggets have.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets are a better team. I think we knew that coming in. The Heat definitely have overachieved at spots, and then at times, they just had huge performances from guys to kind of push them over the top, but they haven't faced a roster quite like this, and that's the problem. And I think the biggest thing of all is the Heat could kind of shut down the teams they played so far in an NBA way, right? But they can't shut down this Nuggets. They can't match up. Nobody can match up with this team.
It's amazing what a cheat code of a center who passes is. I mean, that's really the biggest difference, right? It's just so hard to figure out how to guard him. Adebayo goes off. We'll see if that happens again. Strus and Martin couldn't hit a 3 to save their life. I think they were 0 for 12 in the first half. So, going to be interesting to see what happens from an adjustment perspective here. But game 1, I think, kind of went the way we both thought it would. And now we'll see what happens here in game 2 and what Spector does to be able to specifically figure out how to do this. We got a huge day of baseball betting, Aaron. You mentioned this yesterday. You hated yesterday. Favorites go 7-0 yesterday. I don't think favorites are going undefeated today. It feels like we could have a bunch of dogs barking. I bet 4 of them. I know you like the couple. Let's start out with the Brewers-Reds game. I think we both have bets from this one. Brewers minus 175, total sitting at 10 here. I'll let you kick this one off.
Yeah, good way to kick it off, because this is one of the dogs I like today. I really like the Reds in this spot. They're plus 152 this morning. I think they're now plus 145, something like that. But still, I like them. It's a really good matchup for them. Look, Williamson's the key to the game for the Reds, and we've talked about this Reds team. They're pretty damn solid until you get to the bullpen. That is the one thing they struggle with. And look, last night they were right there with the Red Sox. The bullpen kind of blew up on them. So Williamson's got to get 5-6 good innings. I think he's capable of doing it. And if he does, I really think this favors the Reds quite a bit here. And the Reds are kind of a gift that keeps on giving. We talked about them in that Cubs series, playing them. Talked about them. We played them in the Red Sox series. Now they're here, and they just keep floating at the same price. So, yeah, I'm back on the Reds today.
I took the over 10 here. It's 92 degrees in Cincinnati. The ball flies out of that ballpark when it's warm. I don't really trust either of these pitchers. Burns has been very good for Milwaukee, but he hasn't been great in 2 of the last 3 starts, giving up 5 earned and 3 earned in 2 of those. I think Williamson probably gets hit here. So I took the over 10 instead of taking the Reds because I think you're going to see some runs here.
I think it's very possible. And again, from a Reds perspective, you do know betting the Reds, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. They're going to be challenging. Maybe not the 9th. The 9th, Diaz is pretty damn good in the 9th, but getting to him is going to be the issue. It always is. But you're getting the number to take the chance with them.
Well, and that's the key, right? That's why I think we're both dog or pass, laying a run and a half or pass, right? Essentially, if it's not plus money, we're probably not playing it in baseball because it feels like you got enough variables going. Let's talk about a dog I like here, the Angels. Plus 110 here, Astros minus 130, total sitting at 7.5. Ohtani going for the Angels here, 5-1, 2.91 ERA. Valdez for the Astros. He's been solid as well. That's why you're seeing that 7.5 total. It is a coin flip to me. I'm getting plus 110. I took the Angels here at a little bit of a dog price. Ohtani's been very, very, very good on the mound. This Astros team is not as good as I think people think they are. So you got to get around Valdez, obviously. He's been one of the best pitchers here for the Astros so far. But I just can't pass a plus price on the team that I think is as good as the Astros, and you have a better pitcher on the mound.
I think it's a good pick. I looked at this one a long time, and my one hang up on it, and this is just a personal thing. There was too much of the public on the Angels. I was just too public for me. But look, as far as we analyze this game, it probably shouldn't be Angels with plus money, right? I mean, we were looking at a toss-up type game. When Ohtani's on the mound, it's a toss-up. It'll be pitching duel, but the totals at 7.5, so it's kind of hard to bet that one way or the other. Should be a good game. I don't hate the pick at all. I think the Angels got a big shot tonight.
Yeah, the splits is what actually pushed me over the edge. 55% of the money, or 55% of the bets on the Angels. So you are seeing more Angels bets than Astros, but 68% of the money. So you did see some larger bets come in on the Angels early, and so for that reason, I wasn't as afraid to back off it. If I'm seeing a 13% gap with a team that I figured would get bet from a public perspective in the Angels, just because it showed Ohtani, I figured it's still worth it. Take a shot here. A tough total to play though. 7.5 seems like it might be a touch low, but man, I don't think you can go over here either. Let's jump over to the Rockies taking on the Royals. A battle of 2 monsters here. Royals are a favorite, minus 125, total sitting at 9.5. Aaron, anything here?
I think you got to play the Rockies in this spot. I mean, I don't know. This just feels like the line is very wrong. I don't know why the Royals would be favored. But you caught the Nationals a couple times in Kansas City with these same kind of situations. The Rockies are pretty. I mean, it's a similar group, right? They got a good pitcher on the mound tonight. Give me the Rockies. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I took the Rockies as well. Lyles 0-9 with a 7.30 ERA, and Kansas City's offense is a favorite. If it's not the A's, I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't know.
I took the Rockies plus 105. Anderson on the mound for Colorado. He started twice this year. He's been good in both starts. If he keeps this rolling, I think this to me is just one that's mispriced. This was almost the best bet of the day for me. I was down to 2. Yeah. This was one of those 2. I ended up going the other direction, but still thought it was pretty interesting. Are there any dogs we didn't mention that you like today? Because I know we both put in quite a bit.
You mentioned the Rockies that I was going to say. The other one is the best bet, so I don't think we have to worry about that one. The only other one I considered, and I end up not betting it. The Cubs are a pretty big price today, but the problem is Walker's on the mound for San Diego. But that's one you might look at if you're having a real good day and say, it's late at night. Let's try to give a shot to the Cubs here. I wouldn't hate that one. But no, I think the best bet that we'll talk about it and then is my only other one.
Yeah, I sprinkled on the Nationals too. +1. I think they're 165. They're taking on the Phillies. Gray on the mound for the Nationals, playing at home. Phillies 11-21 on the road. They seem like a team that's being overvalued. Wheeler on the mound, he pitched very well last time, so we'll see if he can keep it going or not. But I thought the +165 was a little high.
I agree. Wheeler's the only thing that made me pause on that one because I have watched him a couple times. He's starting to get in the groove a little bit, but you're right. It's way mispriced, and so. I mean, if you're going to sprinkle on the Nationals, yes, I would say go ahead and go for it.
All right, let's head over to the race of the day. Belmont, race number 6. We're back to it here. This is a toughie. After Gunnett let me down yesterday, I figured we'd have to go and find a pretty good race here. Race 6, it's on the turf. I believe it's a 1.125 here. N1X allowance. Really interesting that the favorite here is going to come out of the 4-post. Joel Rosario, Christophe Clement, best last out buyer, so I get it. I understand why it's the favorite, but it kind of feels like Joel might try and rate this horse, specifically because the 10, the maker claim on the outside is your speed. What do you think here?
Yeah, I don't want to touch the 4 as far as a win, that's for sure. It just kind of feels like a race where you want to stay away from Rosario a little bit. It's interesting, we talk about numbers a lot on the show. Best last out buyer, but from a time form perspective, this horse isn't fast enough to win the race. So isn't that odd how the two kind of disagree at times? I like the 6 in the spot quite a bit. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name.
Say Magnifique.
Sure, yeah. So, I do like the 6 horse. Listen, last time out lost to Kalleward. Kalleward is a horse running in the Pennine Ridge tomorrow, and I think is a pretty good horse. I think he's got a shot to win that race. 6 was beaten 4.5 last time out by Kalleward. So I like this horse today. I don't love the jockey change, but, that is the downside. But I still think the 6 can kind of sit that pocket trip and pounce at the top of the stretch. So give me the 6.
I actually have the 6 as well. I think Say Magnifique's in a nice spot here. If you get 4-1, I think it's a great price. I also like the 7 a little bit here. First time getting to the turf for Shug. Game change. Saw him in the Peter Pan last time, but we mentioned kind of the last out buyer thing. If you go back to Game Change's race at 1.16 over Gulfstream, gets an 82 buyer, stalking the pace and then pouncing. That was on the dirt, obviously, so different surface, but this is Candy Ride out of a pulpit mare. I would almost say turf is the better surface, but because they paid $750 for this horse, they wanted to try and check out the Kentucky Derby Trail. 10-1, I think, is a nice price on the 7.
7's interesting. Yeah, I didn't use, but it certainly is one that it's like, yeah, it's probably time to try it, right? I mean, I think probably the worst thing, kind of in a way, that ever happened to this horse is he was able to break the maiden. Somehow 3 races back, his other races just have not been good. And it's like, okay, it's time to try something a little bit different. So we'll see. I mean, it's not a race full of monsters. So if the 7 does really take to the turf, it's definitely a race you could see an upset.
Any interest in the 10 Mayfield Strong or the 8 Mercanti? Both big prices, 12-1 on the 8, 15-1 on the 10.
More interest in the 8 because did try turf last time out and ran better, but gonna have to get faster, I think, to win this race. So I don't know. The 10 is kind of that horse sometimes, but it's like, really, that horse was able to do it, for Maker, but he's not for me. The 8 possibly.
It's an interesting race. I think you could find some prices here. I looked long and hard at the 8, the 10, the 5, Zhang Fao as well, who I thought had a little bit of a shot in here. So pretty tough race. Who are you using in the exact? Are you going 6-4? Or you just going to a price?
I have the 6, and then I went 4, and then I went to the 1. I thought this horse was kind of interesting. Second time out for Grand Motion. I don't think the horse is great, but I think underneath the horse makes sense, and I think you're going to get every bit of that 10-1. So I did like the 1 a little bit to kind of come in and hit the board at a nice price.
Yeah, interesting horse there, coming out of a stakes race at Aqueduct. 1 back-to-back races on the turf before that, has improved 4 starts in a row. So the 1, definitely another one not to sleep on. This is why I like this race. I don't like the 9. I think you don't like the 9 since we haven't even talked about it. It's 3-1 on the board. Neither of us have the 4 on top, who's your 5-2 favorite. After that, it gets very, very interesting very, very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely does. I think it's one of those races. If you don't catch the favorite, then you're gonna catch a price. I'm with you on that. Like, I could see myself this afternoon being like, the 10 won that race. Really? Are you kidding me right now? Like, I went 4 or 5 and the 10 beat me. So We'll see.
I think the 10 might win, Aaron. I think the 10 gets the lead. And when you have a maker on the lead switching over, and that's a McPeak to maker move. That's a big time plus. The horse has won on the turf before as well. So we'll see what happens with the 10 there. Both of us on the 6 horse on top. I like the 7 a little bit in second. Aaron likes the 1 a little bit as a price. All right, let's jump into the best bets here. Magic sending one in, taking the under in the Mariners-Rangers game. This one's sitting at 8. I looked at this one too. I think this is a pretty interesting number. You've got Castillo on the mound for the Mariners. He's their best pitcher. Gray on the mound for the Rangers. Both of them sub-3 ERAs. Mariners don't love to hit the ball. Texas would be the concern here if they can get to Castillo, but he's probably the better of the 2 pitchers. So I don't mind taking a look at the under 8 here.
I think it's a good look for Magic, and it's hard to argue with him. He's doing really, really well with these so far this year. 8 is a low number. We've talked about 7.5 being low, but at least you've got 8 here. Look at that camera following your drinking of the coffee. That was great. I just looked up and it's like, anyway, I think it's good. I like this for Magic.
All right, let's head over to, should we talk about Papa Dude's mythical parlay of the day, which hit yesterday?
Yes, we should.
Well, so we've done this long enough. I think we know the games Papa Dude is probably going to play. He's 100%, I thought, playing the Marlins here against the Athletics. And the other one would be Padres Cubs, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to get Papa Dude's mythical parlay of the day. The Padres and the Marlins plus 147 for those two. So Papa Dude on Padres, Marlins plus 147. Yep. I'm going to my best bet with the Yankees. I don't think they should be a dog here. This one didn't make much sense to me. They're taking on the Dodgers. It's Severino, who's, again, pitched twice and pitched well in both of those efforts, versus Kershaw, who is just not the same Kershaw that we've seen in the past. You're getting plus 120 right now on the Yankees. And this is another one that kind of jumped out when you look at the bet splits here. 38% of the bets on the Yankees, 59% of the money on the Yankees. So all of the bigger bets are coming in on the Yankees. Give me the Yankees plus 120.
I like it. I like the Yankees tonight a little bit as well. I'm with you on that one. There's some really good baseball series, and that's one of them. Yankees, Dodgers, really good. Braves, Diamondbacks, we didn't mention them. Really good series. So you're catching plus money on the Yankees. I like it.
Yeah, Braves Diamondbacks series is going to be interesting. Feels like a measuring stick for the Diamondbacks in a lot of ways because they're taking on a top tier team. They played a lot of, the Rockies and that kind of games. Now they have to go in and take on a very good team with the Braves. They're at home. Let's see if they can take 2 out of 3 there. You teased it. The best bet. You like it today. Going back to the boys who let me down yesterday.
I feel terrible for you yesterday. I was driving up to Iowa during this game, and I got your text like Guardians are up 6-1, 6-3, whatever it was, and so I kind of just checked that out as that's going to be a win. And then I got my phone when we got to the hotel. I was like, oh no, they lost. Oh, that's awful. But listen, I'm going to go back to them again today. I don't have that bad taste in my mouth like you did from them yesterday. I think they just make a lot of sense as a plus money team to play tonight. In MLB. I like the pitching matchup quite a bit here. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. This is a Guardians team that I think they're getting ready to kind of bust out of it. And if they would have won last night, I know they didn't, but if they would have, it's like, wow, they're really on fire right now. So I think they get a good they get a good start from their pitcher tonight. I think he goes 6-7 innings. I think the Guardians get it done. I like that plus 115. I'm not huge on the Twins. I don't think they're great. And so I think the Guardians at plus money makes sense tonight.
I stayed away. I would play the Guardians if I played it, but I stayed away from this one. All right, Aaron, you're in a hotel. Where are you?
Well, listen, Hawks All Day mentioned, he said the 6 in race 1 tonight at Prairie Meadows has to be the best bet. That's because I own a little piece of the number 6 at Prairie Meadows tonight. I'm in Altoona, Iowa, getting ready to go over and get my ownership license so we can run tonight. So the number 6, Husker Butch in the first race tonight at Prairie Meadows. If you're bored tonight, watch Prairie Meadows, and we'll see if Husker Butch can get it done. Maiden special weight, so we'll see. Field of 6, he's drawn to the outside. He does have nice early speed. He could stalk the pace and hopefully pounce and win, Somich.
7-2 on the morning line.
Yep.
We don't often have an owner on the show. What I mean, can you tell how is Husker Butch been working out? What's Kelly think? Are we going to get a runner tonight?
I think he's going to run pretty well. He definitely started last time out at Oaklawn as just a prep to be ready for this realistic race where he could win. It's a real pivotal race for Husker Butch tonight, to be completely honest, because if he runs 5th tonight in the maiden special weight, well, we know where we're going. We're going to the maiden claimers, and he's going to be in for a tag the rest of his career, most likely, right? If we can get a top 3 finish, obviously you want to win. If you can get a top 3 finish, then you can move on, still try special weights, and obviously would be great. He's doing really good from what I've been told, but what's a trainer really going to tell you? That's what they always tell you. But I think he'll run a lot better today than he did last time. I think Kelly's excited about him. I think he thinks this horse can win a couple of races up here. Hopefully it starts tonight.
Are we pointing at the Iowa Derby? Is that the long-term goal?
Well, he's an Ontario bred, so the Queen's Plate is where I've always said we should be going. But I don't think we're going 5.5 furlong maiden special weight to the Queen's Plate. I think we better, as they say, Somich, we better just take it one race at a time.
Just hope he comes back healthy with the W, and then you can figure out where to point him, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get this one tonight. We're gonna celebrate, and then we're gonna regroup in the morning and plot our next move.
Well, if anyone is in Iowa and wants to go check out Husker Butch in person, hit up Aaron. I'm sure there's going to be room in the winner's circle because I'm guessing this isn't too crowded of a winner's circle up there. So make sure you check out Prairie Meadows. That's the horse number 6, race number 1, Husker Butch, part of the Aaron Halterman. What? I'm trying. Didn't want to say dynasty. You're killing me. Part of the Aaron Halterman. I don't know.
Yeah. Listen. He's a legend if he wins tonight. That's all. That's all you need to know. They're gonna bronze a statue of him outside the Prairie Meadows if he wins tonight.
Are you going to go to Fauner Park with him at any point? I mean, he is Husker Butch. It would make sense, right?
Well, I think at Fauner we could win. So we may. Hopefully, we don't go to Fauner ever with him. But if we do, yeah, sure, I'll go up there.
I love it. Yeah, not a good sign if you end up at Fauner. All right, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Let's rip through the best bets here. We'll start with Papa Dude's Mythical Parlay, which cashed yesterday. He's going to take the the Padres and the Marlins. I'm going to go with the Yankees plus 120. Aaron, Guardians plus 115. Magic 6-1 in his last 7 totals in baseball. He's going to take the under in the Mariners Rangers game, under 8. 5-3 for the week, up 250, up 444 for the year. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Good luck with your best bets around the sports and horse racing world. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow to preview a pretty big Saturday racing. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, by the way, Stanley Cup Final starts tonight too, or tomorrow night. So we'll definitely talk about that as well. Good luck, everybody.